Hello and welcome. I am the Sterling and today we are playing Going Medieval. In the last episode, we got a lot done. Oh wait, no we didn't. We got a tower done. We have so much work to do and we built a tower. A bloody tower. And we couldn't even have got it right the first time. We had to redo it. That's how shocking we are. If I wasn't management, I'd be speaking to management. Tell you what. So what are we doing in today's episode? Well, hopefully getting things done right the first time. Though in past experience, I don't tend to get things right the first time. So what are we doing in today's episode? A lot of terraforming. We know we're digging this section here. So straight off the bat, we're going to tell them to start digging. So sit back, grab a cold one, and let's get started. Well, we know this is going to be 32 across. So let's start planning that. So that there is our wall. I got a little bit exuberant with the old mining button, but there we go. Now also, we need to tell them to dig that section too. So we'll cancel the wooden wall. That was just a marker. That. Perfect. And what we'll do is we'll tell them to dig this out too. Perfect. Now we should measure out for the corner tower, which will be 5 off of this edge here. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hit it. So that there is the corner tower. See, because that will be the wall. And then there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the corner tower. And there we go. I think that for the moment is enough work. Let's just let them get on with it. I might consider building another bridge across here. Only because in the moment, their little bridge is going to disappear. So we better do that. There we go. So they'll build that little bridge. That means we can get across. Perfect. And I plan all this out just when they decide to go to sleep. Great. So I've been having a bit of a play, a bit of a brainstorm with a few different ideas in a few different locations. The first one is over here, where the river meets our moat. As you can see, I am bending it to our will. The river will now come down here, hit around here, which at the moment that's a bit straight. I will chop bits and pieces out of it and make it look a little bit more organic. But for the moment, it's just going to run down here. It will then waterfall into this little gully bit here and then out into the moat. Putting it directly in the middle, supposedly putting it in the middle, which we haven't done, clearly. So that will need to be fixed. So delete that. That was supposed to be like so. Well, it will be in the middle, and then the water will travel east, west, and wherever else it needs to go. Now, as for this river here, looking at this, that's enormous. Like, that is huge. And the question is, do I really want it to be that big the whole way down here and then pommel out into this area here? Which, if that's the way it's going to work, it's going to put the mouth of the river over here somewhere. And then water cascade down, and we're going to have to try and carve it all back into, and it's just going to completely ruin the look of what we've done. Plus, it really drags away from the organic look that we've got. And all along, I wanted to try and run with the topography of the river. So it just blows that away. Not to say I don't like what I've done here. I do. And this is going to stay. I'm not taking this away. I'm thinking what I might do is turn it into a little docks, so to speak. So you could imagine small ships, fishing boats, whatever else might come in here. Where are they coming from in the moat? Your guess is as good as mine. And maybe later down the track, I might have a brainstorm and have a river come off the side or something. I don't know. But what I do know is I'm going to do some form of a dock or whatnot here. So then how's the rest of this wall going to look? Well, what I'm going to do is, knowing that this tower here is part of the reason why this looks like crap. It is because it's sunken back. As you see with this wall, it looks good because it's always pushing. What I mean by that is it's 2 blocks, a block, 2 blocks, a block, 2 blocks, but it's always pushing in one direction. So in this case, it's going from over here and it's pushing towards this tower. See? It's push, 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 push. This one doesn't. This one, it's pushing all the way outward, and then suddenly over here, it pushes inward, which causes that skew whiff look. And then once again, it goes backwards again here. And so it's sinking in twice to go to here. When, truth be told, if we're going to go with the theory of pushing forwards, this tower should actually sit somewhere out here. So I will keep the organic nature of this river. I'm going to fix this wall. It might involve pushing this tower out slightly. But I'm not going to square the tower out. Regardless of how I do this, I'm going to attempt to keep this one brick triangle look that we've got here and mimic it on the other side and not have this tower or this tower jut out from the wall. Have it in line with the wall so then we can keep a nice narrow river down this side, thus not needing to move anything further down river, which is exactly what we want. So then how am I going to connect this giant space here and then somehow or other move it into this space here? Well, I'm going to just have to have a bit of a play and maybe try and mimic this wall, but a little bit more aggressively towards the river and get it on almost a direct angle across without making it look too rigid. But the good news is this part here doesn't have to look organic. We can make this look very jagged because it's almost though we have carved this bit out, which we did, and then we've just connected back up with the river. So that might be the way we go. I have an idea in my head of what the outcome will look like, but then it's going from A to B. That's the part that I actually don't know. So we're just playing with it. Hopefully I haven't ruined this river. Hopefully I haven't ruined the bloody aesthetics of the castle. Don't think so. Now I'm going to go ahead and let them start carving out some of these things I've put down to dig. At the same time, I'm going to start getting stuck into fixing this castle wall. And let's see how I end up on the other side. And there we go. That's how we're going to fix it. If you have a look, it just continues straight across. Now there's actually quite a bit of space in between the new wall and the actual wall where the tower is. Now how am I going to get this? Well, the bottom will be easy. First 2 layers will be able to be done via the moat. But the rest, I'm going to attack from inside the castle itself. What I'll do is knock down a wall here and there so they can lean out and build the flooring and whatever else and slowly push everything forwards. Then I'll have to come back and have another little look at the way that we've set up the east wing and whether or not I'm going to move the internal wall towards the external wall or not. It might just end up being this ridiculously big tower, but I really don't want that if I can get away with it. So we will attack that when it comes around. I'm just happy that we now have a plan for this wall because it's actually been worrying me a little bit on how exactly I'm going to fix this in as little effort as possible, basically. I didn't want to have to knock an entire bloody wall down to try and fix this problem. If only I had done it right the first time, we wouldn't have this problem, I tell you. Hindsight, eh? They're not wasting any time. I've knocked a few walls out through the back, as you can see. And they just get stuck right into it. I think they're just tired of digging. Anything not to dig, eh? There we go. I've worked out exactly where the river's going to run on this side. As you can see, I'm digging out where the wall will actually sit. This edge here, so the inner edge, that's where the wall is, giving the river its original 8-block span. This little wall I've planned out here, it's only there to symbolize where the actual tower ends. So that's where this tower will begin. I've decided I'm just going to have a straight wall, causing a bit of a port, so to speak. And then that's where the river will begin. The bridge into this section of the castle will begin here. So that will be the bridge across there. I won't be doing that until this part of the castle is secure. At this point, there is only 2 entrances into the castle, the front gate and this door here into this tower, excluding the TITS. As you can see, we're going to have to do quite a bit of work repairing it, as, well, it's no good to us when it's flooded with water, but I'm sure I can work something out. So now I've begun building this tower down here. I've been having a bit of a look, and this is the moat here. Now this whole section is going to be dug down and raised up in areas to be at this level here. Outside of the moat, it doesn't matter. That's going to stay raised. But once we hit out here, this is just going to drop out and flood this land out here, which that's not what we want. We really don't want to just be pumping the water out here. So I've got to come up with a way of being able to channel the water perhaps down this way and nick it off back to the river. So now I don't know if I'm going to have it in line with our brick wall or if it's going to be out and there will be a river somewhere. I am leaning more towards making it connect to the brick wall. But to do that, I'm going to have to dig all this out. At this point, I think this is actually going to begin to rival the amount of terraforming we did on the west end of the castle. This is becoming quite a large task. Now I've worked out where I'm going to put the river. It's going to run along with this terrain here. So the water will run through the moat, cascade down and into the river here. No doubt I'll probably need to build some form of a pool or something to catch the water. It's then going to travel through this river and then merge here. Hopefully I don't have to dig it down 2 levels. Hopefully 1 level is enough for it not to flood all this area down here. As if I have to dig it down 2 levels, it's going to have to come out here somewhere to join on with this section, not this section. And there we go. It is complete. A lot of work went into building this Restitutionist island, I guess we could call it. But I tell you what, to get the water to work correctly was an absolute pain in the ass. No matter what I did, it just didn't want to work correctly. All these little waterfalls, I've had to go through each one and tweak and bend and twist things just to get them to fill up. Not to mention the entire moat itself, so not the river, but the moat, wouldn't fill up. Not fully understanding whether what is going on is a glitch or what is going on is the physics of the water. It's infuriating. I got the rest of the water system working, building things and deleting things and etc. Right up to the point where I couldn't get this little section here to fill up and this section here to fill up. And I couldn't work out why. For the life of me, I couldn't work it out. And I've come to realize that all the levels build up on par with each other. So this level here has to build up with this level here. So what I did is I had to work out which one was the fault. Was it this one or the other one? So I built a wall across here, stopping the water coming down. I reset the water and let everything build back up. And to my surprise, this one filled up. I thought because I had messed about with all this river system here and I'd played with this wall that I had stuffed up the physics for this section here. That was not the case. Now, I honestly don't know if I fixed this system because all I did was then delete the wall and I was going to start playing with this area and working out why this doesn't work. And the moment I deleted that wall, this worked. So I don't know why. And I don't know if once I reset the game, will that still look that way? But I do know that if I were to reset the water right now, that will be stuffed. So moving forwards, I got to be very careful and try not to reset the water. Nonetheless, I am very, very happy with what I've done here. Now, we've made a few little farming changes. I've been buying beet seeds from the merchants, so we have a whole bunch of beets growing now. We've also moved the flax that used to be here, and the flax is now growing here. So the flax, the herbs, and the red currants are all on the one field. Then we've got barley and beets. Then we've got cabbage and carrots. I also bought an apple tree. It's the only apple tree I've actually been able to buy so far. Once I can, I'm going to buy a whole bunch of apple trees because that will be one of the decorations I'm going to be having for the Restitutionist Island. And Restitutionist Island is a working name. I have no idea what I'm calling this. I still haven't named our bloody wall yet. So naming things is not a thing the Sterling seems to do all that great. But then again, the Sterling doesn't have to name things. He just points. Do that. Unfortunately, this is all the time we have for today. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.